Well, hello. Welcome to another Crimestoppers of North Central Iowa little get together as we like to rotate our local law officials. And today, of course, Mason City Police Chief Jeff Brinkley is with us. Hello. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Doing great. Just got through the weekend and back to the grind of Monday morning.
Yeah. Congratulations to your Cyclones, I guess.
Yes.
So far.
Yeah, good start for them. 3-0 here. We're happy with that.
I think I saw on Facebook, I think, is what's going to happen first? Cyclone losing the game or the Hawkeyes scoring 30 or more?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question.
It'll be a big game this week at Baylor. So my Hawkeye friends have been really quiet since last week. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
How is it down there? Is it split 50-50 on officers?
Oh no, we're heavy Iowa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it'd be at the department here. It'd be heavily for Iowa.
See, so there's a little hint for anybody that drives around with an Iowa State sticker. You get pulled over.
No, I don't think that factors in at all.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
No.
Oh.
For Days and our case, we thought we'd go purple today. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Played tonight, so
yep.
Speaking of that, I took 3 Packer fans to that game last week. And that was a quiet ride home because there were they were Hawkeye fans and Packer fans.
Oh,
not a good weekend.
Tough weekend.
Tough weekend.
Well, and then if you stayed up this weekend, you maybe finished the Hawkeye game, right?
You know what?
I did. Delays.
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
When did that get over with?
I heard 1:40 in the morning.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Somebody on Facebook had a picture of this is what a Hawkeye crowd looks like after 1 a.m.
Yeah, I heard there were 500 people left in the stands at the end.
Oh,
yeah. It was a pretty empty stadium.
I went to bed after the start of the second delay. I was like, I can't do this. I don't know how long this is going to be.
Well, it was a challenge at that point because we were outside around a bonfire watching TV, and then it got rain, and then it kind of sprinkled a little bit. Nothing on the forecast in our neighborhood, and so we ended up moving it inside. Finally, after our second rain delay. And finished watching. A couple of guys said, "You know what? We're up. We might as well stay for the duration and see what's going to happen."
Good for you.
Yeah.
It just seems like we've never had to go through all that like years ago. I don't know. Maybe I'm just forgetting, but man, I have never seen so many times, especially these televised games. Being I know it's happened for high school. They'll just kind of, but they're not going to call it, are they?
Yeah, I think the wildest one I was ever a part of when I was at Ames was we had that storm where the tornado went through right before the game. I can't remember what year that was. It was probably, 2011, maybe 2010. And we're driving through the tailgate lots trying to get people to go inside. And they're looking at us like, you guys, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, like the storm is on. We got so lucky that thing trended west instead of coming right up the gut through Ames because everybody was outside. It would have been just a huge disaster. It was a disaster. Took a couple of houses and did some damage on the northwest side of Ames and out into the county. But yeah, we got lucky. Nothing bad. Delayed the game start by maybe an hour and played a football game and won big.
That's right.
That's what happens when a tornado comes through.
Yeah, that's right.
Cyclone.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and we got pretty blessed. We got hit once, didn't we, in this area? We had one tornado come through, and we're lucky that it only did what it did. That's for sure. So,
yeah, I still can't believe nobody got hurt or injured in that. That was amazing.
Thank goodness. Well, Chief, we looked it up. We haven't talked to you since May. And the last time we had you on, the mayor was here. We were talking band festival. We were talking Ragbri. We interviewed you during Ragbri.
Right.
And, we seem to have gotten through all of that okay, right?
Man, it was a great summer. Yeah, we, I don't think we could have hit higher marks for Ragbri. Just as a community, I was actually at a wrap-up meeting last week where the Ragbri, Iowa folks were there, and they said the feedback on Mason City was incredible. They said the people that were along the route welcoming riders to town, especially on a 100-mile day, that's pretty encouraging. As you only got like 3 or 4 miles left to go. No, we got great marks. In fact, they've heard a little bit of best Ragbri ever discussion, which is unbelievable to me. But we could not have had better weather that day. The tailwind the whole way coming from Emmitsburg, like it was just a picture perfect day. And
you needed that.
A little bit of rain that night at the show, but I mean, all in all, it was a great ride, and we had a great event. So yeah, good summer.
Yeah, it held off. It poured that night.
It did. Yeah.
And that's what you needed about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
For you law enforcement to send everybody home. Yeah.
Yeah. Send us home too. So and, it worked out pretty good.
And the thing of it is, I mean, I know there was a chunk of people here too that didn't do anything. They just came and ate and went to bed right away because it was a long day.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take away from all the wonderful entertainment we had in the city, but just, you know what I'm saying? I understand. I get it. You know, it's like, I think we're just, because we had some across the street where I live at the church. They didn't want to do nothing but eat and sleep.
Yeah.
Get up for the short day the next day.
I've kicked around going on a little bit of RAGBRAI next year. It'll be their 50th, and I've never actually done the ride. Like, I've been a part of several of them from this perspective, but never done one. And a friend of mine told me, he goes, "You got to go on the first 3 days." He said, because the last 4 or 5 days, everybody gets to where they're going when they go to bed. It's wiped out. So he goes, the most fun is on the first 3 days of RAGBRAI every year. He does it every year. And he's like, yeah, you got to catch the first 3 days or it's not any fun.
You need to get an annoying siren on your bike.
I don't know. I want to not be recognized. I just want to go have some fun and be above,
All right. Well, let's get into the discussion. I don't know if you were at the last meeting here for Crimestoppers, but we thought we'd maybe kick it off with I wanted to bring up something I saw on social media about people warning people about things being stolen out of their garages. Is that a trend that has been going on this summer, the last month, or what?
It comes and goes. We've it's been interesting. We hit the big stuff early. It seems like this year. Then we just got a bunch of that stuff charged up. We charged the fires at LD's and at the laundromat. We got some of those charges filed and have that person in custody. So that some of that stuff went pretty good. We always battle some of that lower level property crime stuff. It seems like it comes and goes. We'll catch a couple people. It'll tail off for a little while and then it picks back up. But, always a good idea. Lock your doors, lock your car, make sure you don't leave valuables in sight, package things, porch pirates, that stuff is always a thing we seem to be chasing every now and then. So, do whatever you can to lock that stuff up and to make it a little bit harder for people to get a hold of your stuff. But it is something that pops up relatively regularly.
Jay's got a thing about that porch pirate stuff, right?
Yeah,
good job with yours. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention that the big thing right now is a video. The rings, you see a lot of those, don't you?
Right. Yep. The doorbells are super helpful.
Yeah. Do you just have people send it in to you if they got something going on, or?
Yeah, some people do. We get emails of those with links to them every now and then. It just kind of depends on. Sometimes we'll canvass a neighborhood after something happens, and somebody will have captured something on one of their video systems at their house or the doorbell. So yeah, it just kind of depends day to day on what what we're looking at and how that works out. But some people are proactive; they send it to us, or they give it to the officer when they show up. Hey, I caught it on my doorbell. Like, here's what happened, and they got the footage ready or queued up on their phone. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways we kind of stumble into some of that stuff.
That's gotta help. That's gotta help.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. So it pins down time that it actually happened. I mean, it just takes a lot of the questions out of it when there's some video.
Is that something? I mean, it took me a long time to get one, and I have not one, but two. Is the front and the back of the house and everything else. I mean, would you recommend something like that for people to maybe use that as kind of an investment?
I think so. I mean, I just think it's a good record of all kinds of different things. We happen to live in my living situation. We have a senior citizen that lives with us, and so she has some dementia and other issues that we're working with, and so it helps us keep track of her. Like if she goes out or she leaves to go get the mail or to go over to the neighbor's house to say hi, we know when she left, when she came back, that she's okay. So I mean, I think there's a lot of different reasons to get them. Sometimes people use them to help keep an eye on when their kids come and go from the house, like during summer break. And some of I'm not gonna lie, I've done that probably too a couple times. So did so and so get out the door for work this morning? Yes, okay, good. Like I don't have to worry about that today, right? Like so. I mean, I think they have all kinds of different purposes, but also having a record of something if it might happen at your house is also a good thing.
Well, the thing, I had a conversation actually, I may have told you that, with a country artist, and we were talking about doorbell rings, and he says, "Man," he said, "you got to watch what you say." And I said, "I know, I found out." He said, "Has it happened to you too?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I was on the phone with a buddy talking and complaining about his girlfriend's kids.
Uh-oh.
he, he walked in. He's like, "Hey, babe, what's up?" She's like, "We need to talk." And, so he had to explain that she didn't hear all the conversation.
Yeah.
So he's kind of backpedaling a little bit. So yeah, that's one thing you gotta watch if you have those things.
Well, and I think the other thing that we all get a little bit of enjoyment out of is, it catches me when I fall down on the ice, or somebody else. I mean, you get a little bit of humor and entertainment out, as long as nobody gets hurt. You get to have a few laughs on them every now and then too. We watch the deer, we watch the critters, the stray cats, all kinds of different stuff that happens on ours at our house. They're kind of fun.
Yeah,
that's super.
Harry, you need one.
Hey, yeah, well, I do. I have two. I have one in my front yard and my back, but not a Ring. I have a different camera system.
Yeah, I got a different brand too.
Yeah. So you buy those high commercialized expensive ones.
No, I got mine on Amazon Prime Day.
No, I was talking to say. So did I. I got mine on.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be honest,
Dave probably did too, but he always spends more.
Yeah. No, I got a bunch of friends that had a brand that was on sale, and they're like, "Hey, this is a great one. It's like half off today." I'm like, "Okay, I'll buy it." It's like all internet set up, and it was awesome because I got it before you had to have an account to have the data storage. So my storage is all free, so that's cool. So yeah, it worked out really good.
What I like about mine is mine fits right in the light sockets. And I can actually run the angle right on my phone, just touching.
Oh, cool.
So it'll alert me that it detected movement. I shut off the sound because because it was going off like all the time. And there's too many birds.
Yeah. Yeah. Or wasps this time of year.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. No, I didn't make everything go off. But then
do you have the one where you can talk back to them?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's cool too. I startle my family members occasionally on
that. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. It scares them.
Save some of that pizza for me that you're bringing in there.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of food, let's go back to you mentioned you have somebody in custody for the unfortunate the fire that happened for LDs. Can you let's take a crime like that, and obviously I know that you can't say everything, but can you give us how do you catch? I mean, because it took a little while, right, to find out who did that. There was speaking of cameras, I don't think, was there any camera footage at all? Or did they have some security cameras? Did that help or what?
Well, we had a little help from the neighborhood in terms of that piece of it. But we also had, some other case stuff we were working on that led us in a pretty good direction at the start. The catch was being able to prove it, right? Like we couldn't make the collar until we were reasonably certain we had that pinned down. So that took some extra time to get some things back from the lab. We did some additional follow-up. We wrote a search warrant on the case to get some additional evidence and those kinds of things. And that was just a matter of kind of waiting for it all to come together and go together. But yeah, there's all kinds of different things you can use. Video footage is some of that. Sometimes we have, we'll find things at the scene. People drop stuff. You'd be amazed how many people drop their wallets while they're doing crime. And, it makes it easy to identify, why would your wallet be at the scene if you're not, that's always a hard question to answer. Usually we get the question like, well, these aren't my pants either. I'm just wearing this pair today. But, like all those things that you hear on cops all the time, like, sure. I don't know how that got there, officer, but no, it's a matter of just, going back and working through, doing a good investigation, doing a thorough investigation. A lot of times neighbors see stuff. If we take the time to knock on the door and ask, people tell you what they saw. We've had a couple of breaks this year on some other significant casework where somebody got a loose vehicle description or, something like that they had seen before that didn't make any sense. And we're able to go back and put that together with other information based on who we know the players in the case to be, maybe the kind of car somebody drives or owns. Sure. And that in one case that put that together for us and we were able to identify the suspect that way. So you just never know kind of what's going to catch a break for us. What's
the jail time for arson?
On these, I think we charge these as B, so up to 50. And the killer with these, honestly, you guys, these are mom and pop businesses. These are this isn't corporate America who's the victim here. This is people that have built their livelihood on being a good neighbor in Mason City. I think that's what's so disheartening about it, and that's why I hope the judge throws the book at them when things are done, because that's a hole in our community that you got to fix. It's not just some corporation with billions of dollars to put up a new building and put up a new store or whatever and reopen the doors. It's blood, sweat, and tears, literally, for some of these people to make it. And then we took away their livelihood while they're closed, and so that's frustrating
Yeah, are they going to be? Have you talked to the owners? Are they going to be rebuilding?
Yeah, LD's is working on getting back open, making some updates. Obviously, you've got the opportunity here to do a couple things. I think maybe put a new foyer or something on the front, different kinds of things like that. But yeah, I think they're working hard towards getting back open. I know I'm looking forward to having breakfast there again, just as soon as I can. So you miss that stuff. They just become part of the community.
So there will be a trial.
I assume so. Yeah, I saw there was a not guilty plea last week, so I assume at some point it's scheduled for trial. But there could be I'm sure there could be a plea opportunity there between now and then.
And one person, you said.
One person. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Very good. All right. I wanted to bring that up when you mentioned. I said, "Oh yeah, we got to talk about that a little bit because, well, that's been kind of a major crime that we've had."
Yeah. It set people on edge for a little bit. I think I get it. Like, that's an uncertain and it could be a scary thing. And, to have a firebug out there running around and those kinds of things happening. But no, I think we got on top of that one pretty quickly. And he was in custody on a couple of things that helped keep him off the street for a while. And so hopefully that'll go our way here in the next few months.
You used to hear a lot about like gas drive-offs, things like that. You would think that when the gas prices went high, it's hard to do that now, though, isn't it? Because a lot of it's prepay.
Yeah, and that's what we've encouraged stations to do is just go to straight prepay. Like just make people pay up front.
I think they all do now, don't they? Here,
we don't get that many calls about it. I wonder if everybody has finally gone to that.
Yeah, I think they have because I've had to do it even out of town, up the city. It's just an no-brainer, but. Man, that should have been done probably a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, and now, I'm a pay cash kind of guy, so I got to go.
Oh, you are? You got to go in.
Hey, put $80.
You got to get your donuts when you go in and pay.
I'm filling this giant SUV with gas anyway, so here's $80. Like, we'll see if this will do it, right? Like, I'll just take the $80, and then if I'm short, then I go back and get my change back. I'm like,
too bad they don't do it on account, huh?
Yeah.
You don't have an account for me,
right?
You don't go out and get change back. You just buy more donuts.
Yeah.
That's right. You know what though, guys? The last one to do that is where Quickstar is now, but it was Wooz's. When Wooz's was around, they did that. They had an account. Of course, a lot of business accounts mainly, but they had that account. And you had to, Henry, he was quite the guy down there. But yeah, I thought that was okay, and if anybody's griping about it, well, it's like, oh, did you drive off before?
Yeah. Right.
You don't have to worry about that. What is the big concern, I guess, these days? I know Jay brought up to me earlier that the catalytic converter is still an issue yet. And
yeah, a little. I think, we've had some legislative changes that I think are helping that with the precious metals markets and some of the registration things and people having to divulge a photo ID when they sell one and those kinds of things. So right. I think, that's good. I think, probably two things, I think, in terms of public safety. One, it'd just be, I think, recruitment for us is just, continuing to, push the narrative of trying to get good people in here to locally for us. It's, policing's tough, but Mason City, Iowa in general, honestly, is a really good place to wear a badge right now. And I would, if I can beat the recruiting drum for a minute, we're looking for good people that want to serve their community. And, I think we have worked really hard to build our reputation, who we are in the community. I think we have a lot of public trust in our organization right now. You still see those support law enforcement signs that came out during COVID in people's front yards. Like, that is so cool to me. I mean, I think that's a testament to the special thing that we have here in terms of where we are. But I think the other thing would just be, for us, it's substance use and mental health. It is a lot of what we do every day, and we're working hard to try to improve those outcomes for people that are in those situations, and with community partners and those kinds of things, trying to get them connected to resources, as hard as that is. And sometimes it's a day after day. Sometimes we'll deal with the same person on call 6 times in a day. I mean, we're trying to get them referred out, so it's not a police matter, but we're working really hard with the community and with our partners to try to do that, which also impacts crime and some of the other things that affect quality of life around our community.
I wanted to mention, they talk about, let's face it, if you'll go to any national news or whatever now, they talk about the border quite a bit. One of the things they talk about, speaking of addiction, is all the fentanyl-based deaths that are happening. Do we have any of those issues up this way where it's a fentanyl-laced type of drug? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, heroin's here.
Heroin. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, let's just talk about it. Yeah, heroin's here. We have had some overdose cases over the last, I'd put it out 4 years now. But the thing that we have been really fortunate so far is to not have that mass bad batch or bad, mix of heroin, fentanyl getting into our area kind of all at once, and us having a 6, 7, 8, 9 overdose deaths, within maybe a 24, 36 hour period. We've been very fortunate there. We've had a couple of double overdose calls on medicals where we've had one person make it and one person not make it. We've had a handful of single overdoses, but not maybe the outbreak that some of the other parts of Iowa and other parts of the Midwest have seen. But it is here.
Yeah.
Sadly. Yep.
There's no way to stop that at all.
No, enforcement's it. I mean, we're working on the demand side, but the supply side's part of it too, trying to make those cases. We've done some federal indictments over the last 2 or 3 years with the drug task force, with the North Central Iowa Narcotics Task Force. Got some federal indictments on some people, but that business is, you pull somebody off the street tonight for delivery, within a week there's somebody back to take their spot, and sometimes it's the same organization. It's just a nonstop supply chain for us in terms of identifying the suspect, and those cases take a little time to make sometimes.
I was going to say, what's the percentage of your crimes that you get involved with that are drug related?
Oh, I would say half, probably to maybe 2/3. Yeah, especially on like that petty theft stuff. Some of those things that you're talking about, the stuff that really drives neighborhoods crazy and stuff. Yeah, probably that I would say the majority of it.
Wow. Yep. I wanted to mention too, just real quick here before we end, Chief, that this is Suicide Prevention Month, I believe, and I just was kind of curious how you remember the 811 thing became available here just recently. Do you know anything about that, or can you kind of maybe chat about that, because I hear it's working?
Yeah, 988 is actually
988. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was thinking 911.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what happens when you dial 811, but don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's Harry's little special code.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but that's why you're here.
No. Yeah.
I'm glad I brought it up now.
No wonder why Harry's been looking for somebody to answer the phone.
Yeah. No, 988 is the new mental health 911. Right. It's really the idea. And so the idea behind 988 is to use that number if there's not a need for a law enforcement presence for that mental health situation. Use 988. So we need to get some mental health resources to that person, but it's not a suicide attempt, an active suicide attempt. It's not where there's a danger to anybody currently at the time where we're having law enforcement or EMS show up is going to be needed or necessary. We're trying to prioritize the resources. And so that 988 number is getting answered by Foundation 2 in our part of the state over in Cedar Rapids. And they are also the same people that are answering the mobile crisis phone line. So by the end of the year, that should all kind of melt together. And so when you dial 988 and you are a person in crisis or you're with someone who's in crisis, they should also be able to dispatch mobile crisis to your location as well, no matter where you are. Okay. And so, they're working on all that, getting all that kind of integration, playing through all those new process kind of things right now.
But I've heard positive things about that on a nationwide level. That it's really working. It's not out.
Once we haven't done a lot of publicity on it here yet because we don't have it fully integrated with mobile crisis. But once that's done, you'll see us do a little bit more of a kind of a PR campaign on that locally to get people to use 988 instead of 911 for mental health.
Well, consider this the first thing we do, and we
that's
right. Number right. That's right.
Yeah, but no, I think we're excited about it. I hope that it's a good thing in terms of pulling those things off the officers' plates that they don't need to go to.
Well, I'm assuming that 911 was getting a lot of calls, probably.
Yes.
That stuff.
Yep.
And we said we need.
So think mental health 911 is 988.
988, right?
Yep.
There's 411. There's 211. There's 911. There's
and there's no 811.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can call 611 for my cell phone. That goes right to my operator for my provider. But anyway. Okay. Well, I don't know. Do you have anything more, Jay, you want to add here?
No, not that I can think of. Really.
How about you, Chief? Anything you?
No, not that I can think of. I think, Yeah, no, we did a pretty good job of getting around the horn today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good work.
Good variety.
Yeah, absolutely. A little something for everybody.
Just think, next time we talk to you, you'll probably have a Santa hat on. So
Yeah,
we'd like
yeah.
to do that.
That's hard to imagine that we're that close to that, but you're probably right.
Well, it'll be here before you know it.
I know it will be. Yeah.
You know, can we just, I know it seems early, but let's just, because I think I'd rather have you say it than maybe the sheriff or Clear Lake. But what's the situation on Halloween? You want to throw anything on Halloween? We're just, I know we're already in pumpkin spice season, but Halloween will be here within 6 weeks.
I think the only thing that I can think of that I know off the top of my head, we are doing trick or treat the night of the 31st. I think it's 5 to 7 here in Mason City. The mayor signed the proclamation last meeting. Outside of that, I don't have a ton of extra. We'll be obviously doing some extra GTSB traffic enforcement then for drunk driving, those kinds of things. So as we get into some of that fall holiday stuff, just make sure you're making good plans. Find a sober driver. Don't get picked up. Don't ruin your night that way.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
You bet. Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Thank you.
That's another Crime Stoppers. Of course, all the information for the radio listeners, for the podcast listeners, it's 800-383-0088 or crimestoppersofnorthiowa.com. Oh, I just thought of one thing. I just remembered. Something came out about the Jody thing not too long ago. And then I heard it was like there was some like new information. I swear it was a post from the police department that said they had something. Or was that just on there for a day and then off again? And it came from the Mason City Police Department. It was a notice or something or
I
press
don't have any idea. No, we haven't put anything out recently that I can think of.
Well, you can say where we're at on that whole thing.
I don't have any updates at the moment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, nothing new.
I thought it was like, didn't you, Jay, do you remember? I swear I saw something like a month ago.
I did see something, but I can't remember what the source was. I don't know where it came from.
And I never heard anything after the fact. That's why I wondered. So
interesting. Yeah, no, I don't think it was us.
Okay. Right. Well, I know you wouldn't, fib us because
no, absolutely not. Yeah.
Well, DJs wanting to know stuff. That's all.
Yeah. No, I don't have nothing new to report right now.
Well, we can definitely say this: when you see something, say something. It's
absolutely
just down to that. Okay.
Absolutely. No, sounds good. Help us out.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.